Yeah, because when the shorter the project, the more you kind of start pulling stuff out of the three act story structure. I still think you kind of need the basic three acts. You need a problem set up, and then you kind of have your middle that's explaining solutions, and then in the ending you have kind of benefits to and kind of call to action at the end. So I still kind of see the three that way. Whether things happen right on midpoints or turning points or the end of Act Two going to that's not always necessary. I do think it's still helpful to take your idea and run it through that though and think about it, because the more intentional you are about it, the better it turns out. I just did 2 promos this year that I was directly in charge of. One was for a Christian college out in Georgia. And I mean, you're not going to have mid-turning points necessarily or all these kind of, I mean, they're just talking about why you should go to college there and here they are. But I still have an opening setup saying who we are, what they stand for. And then we kind of get in the middle part is kind of the nitty-gritty on faculty and the day-to-day and the courses that they offer. And then the ending is just kind of like, what's our overall vision? What's our overall goal? Who is this designed for? And then they're just, you kind of want them to be like, wow, that's for me. I'll go sign up. So I still kind of have those 3 things. I also just did one for a ministry called WIT Ministries. And that one, it's people in marriages that are having problems and they go for counseling kind of a ministry. And so that one's almost more of a 2-act. It's just kind of like the first half is people with problems, and then kind of in the middle, I kind of try to divide that just for time's sake. That kind of divide it in the middle is kind of where they start discovering the conference, and then it's going to the conference and how that's helped them. So you definitely have to have nobody cares really about the solution until you have a problem. And so make sure you set up the problem, set up who they are, who you're representing, what the video is going to be about kind of. And I still think that those percentages that I talked about in the 3-act story structure, your 25, 50, and 25, can still work. Again, it just gets difficult if you have a 30-second promo that you're doing. All of a sudden you have 4 seconds between the midpoint and like a turning point and the midpoint, and it's just not enough time to get people from here to there emotionally or anything. So that's fine to lose some of those things. You can make a hero's journey quite simple. It just needs to be a problem, a solution, and then the results are called to action. This kind of thing. I was talking to Andrew about this, and even one of the things coming to mind is this, like, it's a very famous commercial of a kid dressed in the Darth Vader outfit, and he's just dressed up at his house, and he's trying to do this little power thing on these animals, or stuffed animals with a dog. And nothing's working, of course, because he's just dressed up in like a Halloween outfit or something. So his dad comes home, he runs outside, and he does it on the car, and the car starts. And it's 30 seconds, if that long. And it cuts inside, and the dad had a remote turn on for the vehicle. And so then they kick back, and the kid's all like, wow, he thought it was really cool. And it's just Audi or whatever the Honda or something, okay? There's nothing real complex. You just see a flawed yet sympathetic, because he can't do it. He can't make it happen, but we think it's cute that the kid's dressing up and trying to dream. Flawed yet sympathetic protagonist is trying to overcome seemingly insurmountable to achieve a compelling desire, but then it's the car, and you can pull out a lot of the pieces, but the framework is still, I think, exists, especially as when it comes to characters and who you're talking about. That can be helpful. It does depend a little bit. If you're doing a narrative type thing, like when we've done stuff for Midwest, we've done more of a narrative type promo. Sometimes I guess that can matter more, but no, I think you can really pull a lot of it out, especially the shorter you're getting with it. Just don't assume that it can go. Just do think through it and be that intentional with it, but it doesn't have to all be there. So,
yeah.
Anything else, Andrew?
Yeah, no, that's really good. I think, it's like with every project, you have to kind of take it project by project. It's not going to be like one template that's going to work for every single project.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I think just one other thing that they talk about in like explaining concepts and things like that is really building out the context. Like, so like when you're, introducing the problem, it's kind of like the whole concept of making sure they understand the forest before the trees. So if you just dive in, especially if you're doing like something for a particular, say like a product demo, for instance, if you just dive in and start talking about the features, then people are going to be like, why should I even care about the features? So if you start out with the problem that they can relate to, so that it's like, oh, I totally get that. and then talk about, how this product or service or, something addresses that problem, and then kind of go on. And then, like John Clay said, maybe addressing some of the features, or, like, okay, so say I'm trying to advertise this pencil, have you ever been in a situation where you had something you really needed to write down, you went to write it, and it was broken, the lead was broken off? Everybody's like, yeah, I totally get that. And then they're like, oh, but then this pencil, you never have to sharpen it, or whatever it is. So, but yeah, so anyway, just tying it into some past experience they have will help it connect better with people too.